Have you ever approached a complex problem, maybe something new at work, and felt that the old ways of learning or problem solving just weren't quite enough?
Yeah,
What if you could actually flip that? Become a co-creator in finding the answers.
interesting idea.
Well, today we're diving into a really powerful framework that's, well, it's getting a lot of buzz across different fields and definitely in education, design thinking.
Right, design thinking, it comes up a lot.
And our focus for this deep dive is really how design thinking is fundamentally reshaping learning, specifically in the classroom.
Okay.
We're digging into insights from quite a thought-provoking article in CEO World magazine by Fotis Pantopoulos. It's called The Student as a Partner in a Design Thinking Environment.
Right, I saw that one. It offers a pretty fresh perspective on empowering learners, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, and our mission here, I think, is to really examine how this approach moves beyond just, the standard classroom lecture.
Exactly.
We want to explore how it turns students from, well, passive listeners into genuine partners,
Partners, yeah.
and how that fosters skills that are becoming, frankly, essential for their futures, whatever path they take.
So let's talk about design thinking then. Not just the definition, but what its whole human-centered philosophy does when you bring it into education.
Okay.
At its core, it's really about deeply understanding the user. And in this context, that's the student.
Right, the student is the user.
Exactly. Prioritizing their needs, their perspectives. So in the classroom, this means students aren't just, taking notes.
Yeah.
They're active participants, maybe even drivers in shaping their own learning. It's a pretty profound shift.
It truly is that traditional dynamic, teacher up front,
Hmm.
students receiving, it gets a complete rethink.
Right.
Educators, they sort of transition, don't they?
Hmm.
From being the sole source of knowledge to being more like expert facilitators,
Facilitator.
guiding them.
Exactly. Guiding students through that well-known cycle, discover, ideate, prototype, test.
The iterative cycle, yeah. And what's really compelling, I think, is how design thinking tackles those messy, open-ended problems.
The ones without one right answer.
Precisely. Which, perfectly mirrors the kind of complexity our students are going to face out there.
In the real world, yeah.
And this whole process gives students genuine autonomy, lets them explore topics, craft solutions based on their unique skills, their insights.
That autonomy piece feels so important. It's not just, okay, pick a topic. It's about really validating what they already know, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Validating their perspectives, empowering them, giving them a real sense of ownership.
And when that happens, you'd expect students to be way more invested.
Oh, completely. And what's fascinating here is how students contribute in really concrete ways.
Like how?
Well, they give direct feedback, they act as testers for early ideas, for prototypes,
Mm-hmm.
and they help reframe the problem itself from lots of different angles.
So it's a real partnership.
It is. And that partnership inherently cultivates empathy, too. Students learn to genuinely step into someone else's shoes, understand issues more deeply, which usually leads to more inclusive, sort of collective solutions.
Okay, so when we talk about these shifts, the obvious question comes up. What does this actually mean for you, listening? How should you think about maybe the deeper purpose of education beyond just grades?
Well, fundamentally, I think it's about building self-efficacy.
Right, that belief in yourself.
Exactly. When students are participating as equals, collaboratively solving problems, they develop this strong belief that they can tackle challenges.
That makes sense.
And this process, it also rigorously develops those crucial 21st century soft skills that you hear employers talking about all the time.
Like communication, teamwork.
Yeah, exactly. Actively seeking diverse perspectives, communicating effectively, even when there are differences, working flexibly in teams. These aren't just, nice to have. They're deeply transferable skills.
So it's really not just what they learn, but how they learn it. And the skills picked up along the way.
Precisely.
And when that classroom moves from just like top-down information delivery to this experience of co-creation,
Yeah.
it seems like it would naturally make students much more engaged, more motivated learners.
That's the core of it. That shift from just receiving information passively to actively engaging, actively creating knowledge, that's what makes the difference.
That adaptability is what really grabs me. It's not just for one type of class, is it?
No, not at all.
Design thinking can seemingly be used across pretty much any discipline just by reframing things as these open-ended challenges.
That's exactly right. And the article gives some great examples, actually, showing how broad this can be.
Okay, like what?
Well, take science. Instead of just standard lab exercises, students might identify a real-world environmental problem right there in their community.
Oh, something tangible.
Yeah. Research it, form hypotheses, then actually design and test experiments to find solutions. They're not just learning science, they're doing science.
That's a big difference. And what about something like social studies? History can often feel kind of fixed, you know?
Right. But design thinking can bring a different angle. It lets students become problem solvers, either for the past or the present.
How would that work?
Imagine students researching, say, income inequality during a specific historical period.
Okay.
Then, collaboratively, they could design and maybe even prototype policy solutions they think might have worked back then, or could even work today.
Ah, so engaging with it actively.
Exactly. They're seeing history not just as facts, but as a context for problem solving. Or think about math, often seen as pretty rigid.
Definitely.
Students could tackle a real challenge, like designing a sustainable budget for a community project. They're not just crunching numbers, they're empathizing with needs, iterating on solutions, seeing the real impact.
Making math real, basically.
Yeah.
And what about subjects where creativity is sort of assumed, like art or technology? How does design thinking add value there?
Good question. For art, students could get a kind of client brief.
Like a real-world project.
Yeah, maybe design a public art installation that addresses a community need. They do user research, brainstorm concepts, create prototypes, maybe even pitch their ideas.
Okay.
And in coding or technology, teams could tackle an issue around, say, tech access or ethical use, then develop and prototype actual digital solutions.
So it pushes beyond just making something cool.
Right. It pushes them into thinking about purpose, about the user, about the impact.
So it seems like it's not just about building these specific skills, but it's fundamentally fostering creativity and innovation in a uniquely structured way.
Exactly. And it does that through several really crucial mechanisms.
Okay, break those down for us.
Sure. First, those open-ended challenges we talked about. They naturally push students towards divergent thinking outside the box, moving beyond just one right answer.
Right, opens things up.
Second, the early stages, like brainstorming. They create this low-risk environment. It's safe to throw out wild ideas without fear of being judged immediately.
That's important for creativity.
Crucial. Third, researching multiple perspectives, really digging into user needs from different angles, inherently helps students reframe problems in totally new ways. That often leads to more original solutions.
Seeing it differently.
Exactly. And fourth, prototyping. It isn't just a step in the process, it's really a mindset that breeds innovation.
How so?
Well, that iterative process, rapidly building rough versions of ideas, lets students learn from failures quickly, take calculated risks. They get comfortable adapting and improving their concepts.
So failure is okay, even good?
It's productive failure, yeah. Every attempt is a learning opportunity. Fifth, collaboration itself stimulates ideas.
Makes sense.
Bouncing concepts off peers, hearing different viewpoints, it sparks new connections they might not have made alone. Kind of. Sixth, learning to work with an ambiguous brief right at the start. That teaches students to be comfortable with uncertainty. And that comfort is a real hallmark of creativity.
Dealing with the unknown.
Exactly. And finally, that consistent emphasis on experimentation over just finding the one right answer that fosters a growth mindset.
Believing you can improve.
Right. Which is absolutely fundamental if you want to develop truly novel, innovative solutions.
Wow, okay. So it's quite a comprehensive approach to fostering that creative spark.
It really is.
All right.
And if we kind of zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, design thinking creates this environment where students aren't just, soaking up knowledge.
Right.
They're actively generating it. They're solving real problems.
Becoming knowledge creator.
Exactly. And that empowering dynamic, it deeply embeds the learning itself while also building independence, resilience, and all those other vital transferable skills that will serve them long, long after they leave school.
So this really raises an important question for you, listening right now. If students can be these knowledge creators, these active problem solvers in the classroom, what does it mean for your continuous learning? For your own approach to problems, or even how you think about your career development in this increasingly complex world?
Yeah.
What would it mean to apply the same design thinking mindset to yourself?
That's a powerful thought to leave with.
Definitely something to reflect on.